Today we'll be focusing on the function and importance of the lymphatic system, the lymphoid organs, and the tissues involved in the system. The main function of the elaborate lymphatic system and vessels is to drain vessels that collect the excess protein containing interstitial fluid and return it to the bloodstream. This system consists of the lymphatic vessels, shown here in green, and the lymph nodes that help cleanse the lymph as it passes through it. The structure and distribution of lymphatic vessels. The lymphatic collecting vessels have the same three tunics as veins, but they are thinner and have more internal valves known as mini valves or swinging doors that open when the pressure in the interstitial fluid is greater than the pressure in the lymphatic capillary. So in these green vessels that you see here, there's little flaps that when the pressure increases here, they open, lets the fluid in. When the pressure inside the vessel increases, they close, so nothing else can get in. This allows the interstitial fluid to flow into the lymph vessels to get clean and filtered back into the bloodstream, removing cell debris, pathogens like bacteria, viruses, and cancer cells. The lymphatic. It is important to know that the lymphatic vessels form a one-way system in which the lymph flows to the heart. This transport system begins in the lymphatic capillaries. These capillaries weave between tissue cells and blood capillaries in the loose connective tissues of the body. It is important to know that they are absent from bones, teeth, bone marrow, and the entire central nervous system. Now we will talk about the lymphoid cells. Lymphocytes are the main warriors of the immune system. They mature into one of the two main varieties of immunocompetent cells that protect the body against antigens. T cells, right over here, manage the immune response, and some of them directly attack and destroy infected cells. The B cells, also known as B lymphocytes, protect the body by producing plasma cells, daughter cells, that secrete antibodies into the blood. The macrophages play a crucial role in the body protection and in the immune response by phagocytizing foreign substances and by helping to activate the T cells. It is also very important to know that the right side of the face and the right arm all dumps lymph into the right lymphatic duct, which is up here, and then the left side of the face, along with the left side of the body and the abdomen and lower legs, all dump into the thoracic duct. And now Melissa will explain how lymph nodes and the spleen plays a part in the lymphatic system.
I will be describing the general location, structure, and function of the lymph nodes and the spleen. Lymph nodes are oval-shaped masses of tissue in the body that protect the body from infection, cancer, bacteria, and viruses. Lymph nodes are important for the proper functioning of the immune system as they filter out all the bad guys before they are able to pass through the bloodstream. Lymph nodes are located in the cervical region, the axillary region, and the inguinal region. Lymph nodes are about the size of, say, 1 inch, maybe half the size of this, and it's contained in a dense fibrous capsule. The outer portion of the lymph node is the cortex, this outer portion right about there. This contains B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. The medulla, which is the middle part, also contains B and T cells. These white blood cells act as fighters against foreign invasion. Macrophages are another type of white blood cell that phagocytizes debris as the lymph flows by the sinuses, which we have located inside of the lymph node. The spleen is about the size of a fist, which is obviously a little bit big for this demonstration. This is the largest lymphoid organ in the body. It is responsible for cleaning and storing red blood cells to reuse later. The spleen consists of white pulp, which is demonstrated by the little purple dots here on the histology slide. And then we have red pulp. The white pulp consists of B and T lymphocytes involved in immune function, while the red pulp, which you really can't tell where it is, but it's kind of right over here where it says red pulp, is rich in macrophages and disposes worn out red blood cells and blood-borne pathogens. So you can see demonstrated here that there's a consistent pattern within these lymphatic organs.
Now we're going to be discussing MALT, which stands for mucosa-associated lymphoid tissues. These lymphoid tissues are located in mucous membranes throughout the body. They are strategically located to destroy and trap pathogens trying to enter the body. They can be likened to booby traps for treasure hunters. MALT includes the tonsils, Peyer's patches, and appendix. First, the tonsils. They form a ring of lymphoid tissue around the entrance to the throat. They collect and destroy pathogens that enter the pharynx in food and air. This includes pharyngeal tonsils, palatine tonsils, and lingual tonsils. The tonsils are made of follicles with germinal centers and lymphocytes. The tonsils aren't completely capsulated, and the epithelium folds in on itself to form tonsillar crypts, as shown here. The tonsillar crypts are the booby traps of the tonsils. Pathogens are attracted to the crypts and make their way through the mucosal epithelium, but then enter the lymphoid tissue and are destroyed there. This also helps build immunity in children, as the immune cells remember the pathogens so they can have a quicker response when encountered again. Next, we'll discuss Peyer's patches. These are aggregated lymphoid nodules located in the distal portion of the small intestine. They prevent bacteria from entering the blood. They are made up of large clusters of lymphoid follicles and are considered the booby traps of the GI system. Next is the appendix, as shown here in red. It is located in the first part of the large intestines, where it can keep bacteria from getting into the intestinal wall. It also contains a lot of lymphoid follicles and generates memory lymphocytes for quicker immune responses. Lastly, we will discuss the thymus. This is the site of T lymphocyte maturation and immunocompetency. It is like the training grounds for T cells. The thymus is a primary lymphoid organ. It is highly active in infants and children to build immunity, but after puberty it slowly begins to waste away, eventually being replaced by fibrous and fatty tissue. The thymus is likened to cauliflower. The flowerets are like the thymic lobules. In the cortex, or the outer ring of the lobule, is rapidly dividing lymphocytes with some macrophages. In the medulla, there are some lymphocytes as well as thymic corpuscles. Their functions are not certain, but is thought to be a site for development of regulatory T cells which prevent autoimmune responses.
Thank you for learning with us today.
I hope you enjoyed our video.
Bye!